What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Podcast. As always, brought to you by mastersfantasyfootballleagues.com. It's been a minute, but we're back. I had to get all the orphanating and a bunch of stuff done here at Masters. Definitely glad to be back and ready to do some podcasts. As always, joining me, the DOC. What's up, my man? You ready?
I've never been more ready, Commish. It's good to be back.
Yeah, yes, sir. Also, I'll be in the office with me here shortly running drafts. I just want to pass that
Absolutely.
along. Mastersfantasyfootballleagues.com. We are now currently, right in the middle of the season, running drafts 7 nights a week. We got bronze every single night of the week. Got silvers on Sunday. The tin and copper schedule upcoming, along with the higher dollar leagues, platinum leagues, titanium leagues. Definitely want to check those out. Mastersfantasyfootballleagues.com. Also, fresh dynasty leagues filling. Over 700 dynasty leagues here. We've never folded a single one. That's what we're here to talk about today. The quarterback position, dynasty football. We got a value pick, a sleeper pick for you. Doc's been in the lab working on this all week.
Right. So, and we were kind of talking about this before the show, but it's kind of tough because the rookies from last year, the Lawrence, the Lance, Wilson, all those guys, feel like their value is very, very high right now. So it's kind of hard to buy low on any of those guys in a dynasty format. And then anybody that's established, obviously, you're not going to have a whole lot of luck getting them either. So I went with a guy that, has had some fantasy success in the past. And a year ago, he actually looked pretty dang good before going down with injury. And that's Jameis Winston, who is also only 28 years old, which is still very young for a quarterback. And, he got his eyes fixed. He actually looked better last year. And you got to keep in mind, he was doing that with who knows what as his weapons. Now he's going to be working with Olave, who they drafted. They brought in Jarvis Landry to work the slot. He still has Kamara in the backfield, pending a suspension, maybe. I don't know what's going on with that. And then he should get Michael Thomas back, who I've seen videos of lately running routes. So he's moving towards, getting back on the field. So, I know Sean Payton's not there. The offense is going to be a little different, but at the end of the day, Jameis possibly at his best, playing with that receiver trio, add in some of their other young players and Kamara and an awesome offensive line. I really like Jameis's, I like his chances to surprise a lot of people this year and kind of move his way up into the mix of those middle tier quarterbacks and not so much, in the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, for a second, I had forgot about Jarvis Landry going over there too.
Yeah, I did too. Totally forgot.
And as you ripped off all them names in that offense, man, you got to think probably one of the more underrated offenses in the NFL right now.
Oh, for sure. Underrated team in general.
Right. Obviously, some question marks with Michael Thomas, mentally and, physically as well. I think the Alvin Kamara situation, another thing that, just a little bit of caution there, may or may not miss some time. But I think when that team is complete and ready to go, Jameis Winston has a lot of weapons on that offense. Like you said, here's a guy who's done it before, a guy that's finished in the top 3 at the quarterback position, a guy who's not afraid to sling the ball down the field. Jameis Winston has a cannon on him too, man. Like,
absolutely.
Definitely a guy that you could see when this roster's complete and ready to go. A guy that, hey, I love it, man. I actually love the take, Doc. I think Winston, and looking at trades, I haven't seen Winston bringing a ton, honestly.
No, and that's kind of why I picked him too, because like I mentioned, all those other guys, upper echelon guys, and then those guys coming into this year that were rookies last year, all those guys are through the roof in terms of value. So like the guys like Jameis, Daniel Jones, like all those guys towards the bottom have like little to no value. And they're not old. They've got a starting job with decent weapons. They should theoretically move up from where they are. So at the very least, you're getting that. But yeah, they're just very underrated, and there's nothing sexy about guys like Jameis. But hey, if they help win your leagues, that's what it's all about.
All right, and let's talk about best case scenario for a second that you could see with Jameis. Let's say We get to week 6. Kamara's back. Michael Thomas is back. This offense is ready to go, clicking on all cylinders. What's the best case scenario you could see for Jameis, in your opinion?
I think because the Saints defense is so good, I don't know that he'll like put up gaudy numbers, but I think given the weapons, I would think that he could be in that top 15 range. I think that's best case scenario, that 15 to 10 range. I don't really see him getting enough work to crack the top 10, but I wouldn't be shocked if he was in that range come the end of the year. I think that would be a pretty good season for Jameis Winston.
Yeah, and I'm actually right with you. I was thinking somewhere right around 12th, 13th.
Right.
I mean, pretty spot on with what I was thinking too. And I mean, possibly, depending on the matchup, some weeks where he could even, crack into the top 8.
Oh yeah.
Quarterbacks and stuff for the week with that lineup as assembled. I think the Saints, Jameis Winston, very underrated this year. Really like the take, Doc. And I actually have a little quick fire section here for you at the end. Some dynasty. This particular dynasty draft finished about 2 weeks ago here at Masters. I pulled up some of the guys that were drafted the closest together. So it's kind of like a little verse scenario here. Help some of you guys out that may have some dynasty drafts upcoming. Maybe you're on the clock deciding between 2 of these guys. Going to pick Doc's brain, see if maybe he can help you out. Maybe swing it in either direction for one of these guys. And 2 of these guys were actually picked 1 pick apart, the other 2 picks apart. So first one on the list here, and our most recent, this is a 1 quarterback draft. Patrick Mahomes at the 4.5 and Joe Burrow at the 4.6. Which one would you rather have, Doc?
Wow. Man, that is very tough. That's very tough because I honestly do. I do think that Tyreek Hill being gone is going to hurt Patrick Mahomes quite a bit. And thinking dynasty wise, Travis Kelce, who knows how much longer he's even going to be there. So now you got like 2 of the best weapons in the league gone in maybe like 2-3 years. I mean, who knows what they'll be able to do in draft free agency and developing the guys they currently have. But man, I tell you what, the way the Bengals offense is kind of put together, I know they do like to run the ball, but I mean, there were plenty of opportunities where Joe Burrow was just slinging like 40 times a game to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And I'm going to be honest with you right now, I like that a little bit better than what Mahomes is throwing to. If Mahomes had more rushing upside, that'd be one thing, but he doesn't really run a ton. So I don't think that is enough to separate him from Burrow. I honestly think I take Burrow.
Yeah, and I think I'm with you, and I think it's kind of shocking given the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' elite status, his number 1 status, all of a sudden in question a little bit. Not only with Burrow, but there's a couple other guys, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, both guys that actually went ahead of Mahomes in that draft.
Right.
So I mean, it's just, Mahomes has been knocked down a little bit. I will say this, something to keep an eye out for this year in fantasy football. And I do agree Mahomes doesn't run very often, but I've always kind of heard, the whispers in my head or seen in the fantasy community that, Patrick Mahomes can run.
Oh yeah. He's athletic enough. It just doesn't seem to be something he does consistently.
Who
knows?
Which I've always completely understood. I mean, the amount of money they pay him, just how important he is to that franchise. Having said that, Kelce being a little older, Tyreek Hill being gone, if all of a sudden in some of these games, winning is on the line more than it's ever been in years past, I wonder if we'll start to see Mahomes run a little bit more or not. Just something to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Yeah,
I'll be interested to see that.
I mean, because I do think winning overall is the most important thing. So I think maybe we'll see Patrick Mahomes run a little bit more this year. If that happens, watch out.
You might have to.
That's all I'm saying. All right, next one on the list. 2 guys, 2 picks apart in this draft. 13.4 Zach Wilson or 13.6 Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh wow. That's a tough one too, because I'm starting to get a little bullish on Zach Wilson. I'm kind of thinking, I feel like he's very underrated. Of that whole group from last year, I feel like he's the one talked about the least. But they also have a sneaky good group of guys on offense now that they're built. And Elijah Moore, they draft Garrett Wilson. They still have Corey Davis. They drafted Breece Hall too. So they really just have a bunch of new talent for him to work with. And, second year in the offense, I like him to move up quite a bit. And I think he's going to be a lot better than people give him credit for.
Yeah,
that being said,
Tua got a new shiny weapon this year.
Yeah, that's where it's kind of tough for me because I've defended Tua, but I do feel like now he is getting overdrafted a touch in some places because, for obvious reasons, he's going to have two of the fastest guys in the league to throw the ball to. They can do a lot of the dirty work for him. He just has to be accurate in those short intermediate throws and they can do the rest.
Right.
I mean, I think he's going to benefit tremendously from that offense. I think he's going to be a lot better than people were giving him credit for a year ago. I got to go with Tua. I just by a hair. I think he's had more time. He's got a great offensive system coming in. They're going to take a lot of pressure off of him. And at the end of the day, I like Moore. I like Wilson in New York, but it's hard to go against Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the same offense.
Yeah.
And Gesicki, who's a top 7 tight end, 6 tight end, whatever.
And I'll be honest, I had it made up my mind prior to the show. And I was sitting there listening to you talk. And I think I'm going to give Tua the edge.
It's close.
Here's a couple reasons why. I think, one, he doesn't have Breece Hall in the backfield. Right. I do think Tua is going to be throwing the ball a little bit more than Zach Wilson's going to be this upcoming season. And I'll just add that too. I actually love the receivers on both sides. I got to give the edge to Tyreek Hill being the veteran in the league.
Right.
Just a little more experience, Garrett Wilson. And so I think for the next couple of years, I'm going to give the edge to Tua. But I'm with you, man. Zach Wilson, watch out, man. This guy, the Jets have quietly put together something.
Yeah, I almost picked him for my sleeper just because he's like the sleeper amongst those second-year guys, I feel like. But, man, yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
And I say it all the time because I always poo-poo all the New York Jets every year, right?
It's easy to.
But at some point, I mean, dude, they put together some nice pieces over there.
Absolutely.
Zach Wilson, a guy I got my eye on in dynasty drafts, and along with all the weapons too, man. I mean, they can't always stink. I just don't believe it. Even as a Browns fan, I mean, sometimes things just turn around, man. I think the Jets times might be coming. All right, and the last one here, these guys actually weren't picked too close together. One of them, the legal trouble has him slipping down. I will say he's been climbing back up. I've been noticing in trades, he's starting to bring a little bit more value. And I just wanted to add that about Tua too. Tua, one of the most traded guys I've seen this year so far. After Tyreek Hill went, man, I swear it was like a 2-week period where all I did was Tua trades. Man,
dude, makes sense.
He was bringing some money too. I was shocked, man. Last 2 quarterbacks, similar in age. Just kind of wanted to get your idea on it. Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott?
That's an interesting one. We'll throw this year out the window, just assuming Watson gets 6, 8, whatever he's going to end up getting. That's kind of takes this year out of the picture. But going forward, man, I feel like I kind of want to go Dak. I feel like, and it's not necessarily a knock on Watson. It's more a knock on, not even a knock. It's just more the way the Browns play. And we've seen that before. Yeah, I mean, sure, Watson will be able to do things that Baker wasn't able to do. But I also don't think that really changes the philosophy of handing the ball to the best running back duo in the league 40 times a game. And really, at receiver, it's a lot of unknowns besides Amari Cooper, too. So I don't think that we're necessarily toting a bunch of weapons for him to throw to yet. And with Dak, I mean, they've talked about him running more this year. I think second year after an injury like he had, I think this is the year where he's going to kind of pick back up. It's usually always like a year. You see these guys aren't always quite back to full go. And we saw that with him last year, but I expect big things from Dak Prescott this year. he'll be healthy. I think CD Lamb's going to be amazing this year too. I think all things are pointing to Dak for me in that scenario, but I do think it's close.
It's close. Yeah, and honestly, coming in, I thought as I wrote that down, I was like, am I wasting my time here? Of course, he's going to pick Watson. I was thinking Watson. You've changed my opinion on that. You're right, man. No matter what, as constructed on this Cleveland roster, it's going to be a running team first. I think you can also factor in winter games to where Dallas will be playing in that nice, beautiful house that Jerry's built down there.
Exactly. And he'll be throwing in like 13, 15, 20 mile an hour winds off the lake with grapple and snow and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait to be at one of them, man.
I know.
You talk about it, man. Put my 5-6 layers of coats on and
the best.
Off down to the lake we go. Good stuff as always, Doc. Hey, if you guys at home could hit the like and subscribe button, love for you to come be a part of the Masters family. Like I said, running drafts 7 nights a week now. Dynasty drafts are filling up. We got auction leagues, all types of all your fantasy needs. MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. 15 years in business. We've never folded a dynasty league. Any last words, Doc?
No, thanks for watching, folks.
Thanks for watching, guys.